Oh. Yay, we're back for another Knowing You show. I'm Tiffany Cano, and I've been really enjoying interviewing people in our empathic community. And today we have Krista Inochovsky here with us, and I know her through one of my JV communities. She has been a bright light, and I really like her participation in our community, and she even has been uh, taking on a full-time role with JVology too, as a coach and doing interviews for all of us that are in there and helping out with, I think, customer service and support. So thank you so much for everything that you've been doing for me personally as part of that group. And I would love to just introduce her now. So Krista's a high achieving, big vision professionals and entrepreneurs hire her to expand their vision and impact with success strategies to thrive in all areas of life. So she started with adults, and now Krista has founded Empowered Teen Confidence, a program that empowers tweens and teenagers with self-confidence, connection, and empathy. So if you or your teens have, empathic sensitivities, please tune into this. Krista is an experienced speaker, coach, facilitator, MC, and has had a long career as a professional dancer and entertainer on stages and TV around the world. Thanks, Krista.
Thanks, Tiffany. It's fun to be here.
Yay.
Looking forward to it.
Likewise. So tell me a little bit about yourself. I know that you're a mom of two teens yourself, so give us a little intro.
Yes. Well, I am a single mom of two teenagers. I live actually in Orlando, Florida, and I've, as you mentioned, Tiffany, full-time at JVology, which is just like an amazing fit for me. Director of member care. I get to take care of entrepreneurs and speakers, authors, coaches, thought leaders, and get them connected in our community, connected with each other, get to interview them on our different shows, and get to feature them, which is just so much fun for me to help shine the light on others and what they're up to and what they're all about. And then through my own journey of being a life coach, as well as teaching yoga and meditation and mindfulness for years, having two teens myself and a big life transition about 1.5 years ago, I was guided to create a program that is geared more towards the tweens and teens, like middle school age kids, and take what I've been doing and knowing and loving, including masterminds. So I love a mastermind facilitator, bringing together a small group of people to bring out the best in one another. And so I took all these pieces of what I'd been doing with adults and created a program for tweens and teens, because man, that's a challenging age. And now more than ever, especially with distance learning and the world in a whole different place than it's ever been before, it's incredibly important to give our kids a safe space to be able to both understand and learn about their own emotions, how to share that, how to understand it, and how to listen to one another, which is one of the things I love so much about what I do, is bringing the kids together to share. And then they get to hear that they're not alone.
I remember as a kid growing up, I was so empathic, sensitive, intuitive, and it was hard. I didn't have any kind of structure that would support those elements until a little bit later in life. Mm-hmm. I did have a few adult friends who supported that. So I love that you are helping teens and middle schoolers. I mean, that's such a tough age. So what had you want to really refocus on that age group? Was it like your heart just opened as you were having teens and you're like, this group of people need it?
Kind of, yes. Um, I'm super into personal development. I'm always working on myself and learning new things. And I'd come to a major new fork in the road for my own life of becoming a single mom. And so I had to look at my whole life and where's my purpose, where am I best to serve at this exact moment. And all of these things just started standing out for me. And the main thing that I recognized is that this particular age group, there was a big study done, and out of all age segments, that teens had the highest perceived stress of any other age group.
Really?
Right. I'm like, it's pretty hard being an adult. Divorced woman in her 40s with 2 kids. Like, there's a lot of hard age groups, but they registered as the highest perceived stress. And so that just got me thinking, if they're having a hard time dealing with their life, their emotions, and I kind of joke, I have this video where I'm like, well, they've got a Starbucks in one hand and an iPhone in the other, and they think life's hard. And it just kind of pokes fun. But part of it is if it's their perception, right? And perception is reality. If they're not understanding or learning the skills to adapt and cope and find center, put the world in its proper size and form, now what are they going to do when a relationship ends, or they can't pay the mortgage, or they've lost a job, or there's all these other real world things that will come down the road? So I thought, gosh. The other funny thing is, I had been working with so many adults, and how many times do you get with somebody and they're like, well, it all started back in middle school when I got shoved in a locker or I got made fun of. Like, we have so many stories.
I have one of those too. Yeah.
Now, right? You're like peeling off the layers and doing the work to find your best self, and you can connect it back to something that happened in grade school or middle school. So I'm like, gosh, what if we just start teaching high achieve, like good kids that are up to big things, laying down these foundational lessons about themselves, self-love.
So you work mostly with the kids that are high achievers versus the kids that are struggling and, having a difficult time.
Yes, absolutely. Certified life coach. I'm not a therapist or a counselor. So I know there's a place for those professions and the right type of kids that are experiencing certain things would go there. But there's a whole huge group of kids who can learn these I call them life skills, but it's that centering, it's knowing emotion, it's what self-love is. We do a lot of work around acceptance, self-acceptance. How do I look and sound? And what are my interests and my hobbies? What am I good at and not good at? And getting the girls, particularly who I work with, get them really comfortable and confident with who they are and loving themselves along the way. And that lays for a really strong foundation to build self-confidence, to build communication skills, to be able to show up for themselves, and then to be able to mitigate and navigate their stress and stressful situations. And often the stressful situations are just that they're over, not say they're over, but that they have a very full schedule, right? During normal school year, they're in school and there's homework, and then they're either in like a competitive dance company or a theater group or playing in a sport. And so they're so very, very regimented and full with their schedule that the stress can really become overwhelming as they're attempting to achieve all of it that they want to do. And so I share and teach them different ways to transition from one event or one activity to another, how to get centered. We talk about a whole lot of different things, even conversations, especially conversations with their peers.
Mm-hmm. And would you say that you've pulled from your own teenage years growing up? I mean, I know you started dancing early on.
Mhm.
I would imagine that that was a confidence builder, or assuming you had good teachers, right? Because if you have bad teachers, then that can actually completely mess up our
Like
confidence.
Dance Moms. The
Yeah.
show that's like so
Oh
terrible.
no.
No, I had a series of great teachers. That, and yes, that was very formative for my teenage, well, all of my childhood. But looking at those teenage years, I was so dedicated and focused and knew exactly what I wanted to do that I didn't let anything else stand in the way. I knew who I was. I knew what I wanted, and for 2 years we drove to an hour away to the big city to take dance lessons. So I do have a lot that I'm pulling from my own. And the problem, I would say the problem, but part of that is not fitting in. Whether
Hmm.
you're super empathetic or whether you just know what you want, then it can be harder to fit in with kids who are doing more kid-like things. But I think we all find our way to feel like we don't fit in one way or another.
Hmm. And I've been hearing stories over the last maybe 5 years of teens being so driven and with that stressful big schedule that there's so many that are on anti-anxiety pills, antidepressants, because they don't know how to cope with it all.
Yeah,
Do
that's
you Yeah, do you feel that with your centering technique, for example, which you're going to demonstrate for us at some point,
mhm.
today, like even if they had access to something like that, do you think it could, you know, minimize the need for pharmaceuticals?
I would like to think so. I'm not in a position to make
I
a big
get
claim like that. However, I do feel like between, and there's lots of research that's done on meditation, and just really opening up the conversation of at any age, being really present to what you want and what's important to you. And I think it's really important to teach kids that they're valuable and valued for who they are, not what they're accomplishing. Because that can be a cycle that they get caught up in is, um, I'm good at X sport, and so that's what I'm known as. And as long as I keep doing that sport, that's who I am, and that's how I'll get known. But maybe they only like me because I score the, touchdown or whatever that case may be. It's important to know that your value isn't just in a test score or just in a grade or just for the ranking that you have, but your value is in who you are. And we have the choice to love what we're doing, and we also have the choice to pivot into something else.
Mhm.
Some
And
parents or coaches can like almost don't show that option, and then kids don't realize that there's an option for them to be something else.
mhm. So when you're working with the teens, are you also giving some coaching to the parents too then, so that there can be, support on both levels?
Absolutely. The main work that I do is in a small group. We're virtually online, and then each week I create a video and I submit that to the parents' page that they can go on and watch it at their own time. And it gives them a synopsis of the key things that we learned. And I always do it after the fact because I'm just present to the moment and to the stories that come up. And then I'll take stories that the kids maybe share and we'll role play into different situations. I really I look at myself as a facilitator. I lay out interesting topics and then let them do as much talking as possible. I want them developing their communication skills and being um, what's the word, like inspired to think for themselves.
Mhm.
Very different than school, right? In school we're taught something and then we regurgitate it in a test. It's very learn the list, spit it back. Here's the formula, spit it back. But I'm encouraging them to think outside of the box. I let them know the rules are, there's no right or wrong. There's no judgment. There's no good or bad. And even we learn how to politely disagree and go, oh, Tiffany, that's an interesting way to think of things. I see it totally different. But I'm cool that you said that. Let me share with you what I think or what I'm feeling about this. So and then more than you realize that it's both empowering and it creates a lot more space for loving communication.
And what do you think empathic teens need to be taught?
Well, certainly that these inward meditations, I give them what I call different tools, and they get to use the tool that feels right for them at the time. We do journaling. I use different types of music. I have the stones, and we teach them how to stack stones. We have conversations. We'll lay on the floor. I've done a whole series on chakras. I want the kids to have learning these things from many different ways. So it's color and body placement, how your body feels, and music, because we don't all learn things the same way. And by giving a variety, then they'll get to use what works best for them. And if somebody loves journaling and drawing, maybe instead of words, they're drawing pictures. Or perhaps their way of expression and relieving stress is dancing. Or doing yoga. And so I really, bit by bit, share with them different tools that they can use. And then it's so cool because I hear back from the parents and they're going, gosh, Krista, it's so interesting. My daughter wasn't feeling great. And she's like, Mom, I'm just going to go outside. I'm going to take my walk under the trees, do my breaths, and then I'll come back. And so the daughter left. She came back in. And the mom's telling me, she's like, and then she shared with me more clearly and calmly than she ever had before. And it was just amazing. So it's wonderful to hear back from the parents what may seem like subtle differences, but those subtle differences are the girls learning how to be empowered within themselves. And I teach them that they're powerful creators. And that means that life isn't happening to you, but it's happening through you. And when you can align your emotion and your intention and what you want and desire, that's more of what you'll get. But it's been interesting. It's not always a super easy conversation. At one time I went through this whole big subject. I think we were working on chakras. And then I looked around the circle. We were all sitting in a circle. And she's like, Miss Krista, I don't know what you're talking about. And I just had to kind of laugh and go, okay, let's try again. There's still a difference between the adult brain and the teenage brain, or, me growing up in the 90s and them growing up in the 2020s. There's these different gaps. So it is kind of funny that I'm not saying I nailed it, but I certainly have fun trying, and I'm willing to offer a new perspective if it didn't land with them.
Oh, that's so great. When I was in college, that's when I actually created a metaphysical club, because I didn't have any people my age who were meditating, and I've been meditating since I was a teenager. And if I would have had, I think, friends to do it with me, I think that would be so cool. And I know that you are going to talk to us about a centering exercise or a mini meditation. Do you mind sharing that with us?
Absolutely. I'd love to. And you can do it right there from your seat. I call this triangle breath. Excuse me. Triangle breath. And the girls really like it. It's something you can do anywhere. Its purposes could be easily right before you take a test. I talk to the kids about social media. They may be getting a message or something that's really upset them on their phone, and now they've got to go and take a test or be present, and their energy is off. So this is a way that you can come back to center if something or someone has gotten you out of whack energetically. And I'll just kind of explain it, and then we'll do it, and you'll be like, that's so easy. Why did she even tell me? But the idea of it is, one, we're breathing. Two, we're using our body to open up. So the first thing you want to do is open your arms as wide as you can, and that opens up your heart center. It also helps you take a deeper breath. So if you think of opening your heart center on your inhale, and then the exhale is bringing your hands into a triangle. You're going to push, so you're putting pressure, that's using your sense of touch, pressing the fingers and thumbs together. Your focus can either be right between those two fingers, and then I'm just going to blow a steady stream of air right between the triangle, and that's your exhale until you're completely out of air. And 3 times we'll do it. So a big inhale and exhale. Eyes are focused. Fingers are touching. The exhale is happening in a streamline. And then one more without me talking. Big inhale, open your heart center. And just shake that out. Super simple. I do tell the kids, if you're at school and you don't want to look like a fool with your arms out, we don't like to bring attention to ourselves, especially as 12-year-olds. So I said you can just simply do this exhale quietly at your desk, but something about bringing the pressure in. You've got touch, you've got sight because your focus is here, the breath is going, and now you can really just get into your body, and just a nice simple way to pull it all in. So
I love it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I am a big fan of breathing exercises, and I hadn't heard of that particular one, so I really like it. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
So kids and adults, we can do this together. Okay. And what wisdom do you have for kids who are feeling the pain of distance and loneliness and sadness right now about not being able to hang out in person with their friends? Most schools aren't open, and obviously it's been a hit and a miss throughout the US and the world about what is open and what isn't. Here in California, our numbers are so high that there's not that much open, and I know you're in Florida and numbers are pretty high over there as well. Do you have any advice for the teens who need help with this whole social distancing stuff that we're all doing?
I think a couple of main things. One is to realize this is not forever, it's temporary, and we'll get through it. So just hold on hope. I believe that energetically, the more we all can be the energy of freedom and be the energy of all that we want our lives to be, that will keep the frequency and vibration of the energy in the space of possibility and get us through this faster. I feel like the more we stay focused on what you can't do and who you can't see and where you can't go and how much life sucks right now, that just really draws in a heavier energy that is not helpful to our healing, both as individuals and for the greater good. So my encouragement is for everyone is to feel free and open and spacious in what you do have. And life's a little different now, but the more we can just embrace what is happening that you enjoy, what's good. But thank goodness we have Zoom and we have FaceTime and we can connect, to use what we can to connect. You can still go, in most cases, go outside and take walks and do yoga, and you can get anything in the world on your computer to follow along with, do meditations. If you're stuck in a city, then watch scenic videos of the mountains and the ocean and connect with that. It's, as I'm sure you know and teach, it's what we put our attention, our focus on is what we bring about. And so we can just think beyond where we are right now, be the energy of what's coming and what we want, and know that we are free
Mm-hmm.
and not locked into our homes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
it's such a mindset. It's focusing on what we do have, focusing on the end result, focusing on what we can be grateful for. I know that's helped me a lot. I've barely left the house since March. I mean, even before COVID, I had all my groceries and stuff delivered. So I like that part's not new and different, like getting Amazon deliveries and grocery deliveries. But I've just been shifted into that way of being that we are connected.
Yes.
Connected upwards, like with our higher soul and God, and connected at the heart level outwards with humanity and, loved ones. And I think if more people could bring that to the forefront, it could ripple out and really make for a more peaceful, harmonious space for all of us, including teens.
Yes, turn the news off. If you're a parent and you have kids of any age, be really, really mindful of what you're talking about and how much you're talking about, whether it's COVID or politics. And just, check in once a week. Nothing changes. They talk about, the news goes on and on and on, but nothing's, make your decision, make your choices on how to be safe, and then be happy and free and connected, and find new fun ways of living with each other or with yourself. I know I've been able to really dive into new modalities and new practices within my own personal development and work, which is nice because I have more time of not driving around. I've had more time with my kids and us walking the dog together. And there's also ways to get out and about, according to what you feel is safe. We took a road trip out to the mountains and stayed in a friend's house who wasn't there in the middle of 22 acres. So we were social distancing, but we got a completely different experience than we do at home. And that, I really believe, was something that I had this conversation that I'm having with you now, I had with myself at the beginning of July, of let's not look at the current situation. I was feeling for like half a second kind of down because I love to travel. I was like, oh, what am I going to set as my goal for July if I can't travel? It's summertime. And then I went, no. This is not getting me down. I love travel. I love nature. I love experience. I'm just going to put that out there, no matter when it comes to me, but that's what I desire. And it was able to happen. I feel really blessed for that. So I encourage you to do something similar. Stay super connected with what is important to you and what you love. Manifestation takes time. It doesn't happen tomorrow anyway, so don't worry about it. Just be in the creative process and the desire and the alignment for what you do want. And whether it comes next week or in 6 months or a year, timing doesn't matter. Stay in that open energy and flow of what's important to you.
Love it. Thank you so much, Krista. And if someone wants to connect with you and work with you directly, or have you work with one of their teenagers, what's a good way for them to contact you? And I know you also have a free gift. So can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes. Well, the nice thing about having an unusual last name is I'm the only one on social media that's Krista Inochovsky. So I'm very easy to find on Facebook. I'm very active there. I post a personal and public figure page. So just if you jot my name down, and then you can also, KristaInochovsky.com has all the information about my Empowered Teen program. So those are two easy, fantastic ways to reach me. And then I did just pop in the private chat if you want to share it. I have an empowered.
Okay, do you mind putting that in the regular comments?
Oh, sure. I have access to it. Let me. I don't think I can comment from here. Do you see on your side, if you go to private chat, you can copy and paste it?
Yeah, it doesn't let me comment here either. Let me go to my.
We can see if I can jump over to Facebook. Anyway, you can opt in. I promise I will not overwhelm you because I frankly don't have time.
I think I can comment from here. Do you see on your side?
Okay.
There we go.
I just did it.
Good.
Okay.
I created a nice video that starts with de-stressing, both for the parents and for the kids. But if we're going to get to happy, confident teens, we want to start with how to mitigate stress. So that's what you'll get when you click over to that landing page. I'll send that to you.
Thank you for the tips and the breathing exercise. I like it. It was so simple and fast and easy to get ourselves centered. I really like that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you for doing this work with middle school and high schoolers because they need it. And I guess one other clarifying question, do you mainly work with girls or is it co-ed?
So far, they've been girls groups. I originally created the program to be in person. And so it was all girls, all in person, meeting weekly. And then we do some cool special events together. Then as COVID came in, I finished up the groups and virtually. And now moving forward, I'm going to do virtual groups that I can connect with people everywhere. So no matter where you or your daughter live, you'll be able to Zoom in and participate in the 8-week programs that we do. And it's not, I know it's a little tricky. You're like another hour on the computer, but it's a very different format because they're talking, they're engaged. We're still up and moving and writing and journaling and sharing. So it's a very experiential time for them. And yeah, they like knowing that they're not alone in the way that they're thinking. That's a big step in the right direction for kids at that age.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tiffany. It's been a pleasure. And thank you for the work that you do, giving empaths a place to be heard and understood, and wonderful tips on how to live in this busy, crazy, loud, hectic world and honor the unique gifts that make you you.
My pleasure. Thank you again. And for those who want to keep following this Knowing You show, you can go to knowingyouShow.com. That's where all of the recordings are. And if you missed any, because I've done at least 15 or 16 up until now, and I'm booked out through part of September. But if you want to be interviewed because you have something incredible or inspiring or amazing happening personally or professionally in your life and you want to share it with us and connect with other empathic, sensitive, intuitive, spiritual souls, then just reach out to me. Okay, you can actually schedule your interview and talk to me at that knowingyouShow.com. At the top is where you get the interview information. And I look forward to more interviews. Thanks again, Krista.
Thanks
Bye
so much.
for now.
Bye, everybody.